It's not liking that. Come on. Don't let me down now.
We've all met that person that right away strikes us as a big talker. You could meet him at a party. She could be your colleague or even a relative. This person always talks about his or her grand plans of running a marathon, doing an Ironman, or any one of the many Herculean challenges that are out there. 99% of the time, it's accurate to think that these grand plans will never see the light of day. But if it's Ted Jackson you're talking about, prepare to be amazed.
I do have a bit of a wacky CV in terms of the things I've done, starting off with the New York Marathon, and I've done a few of the major marathons. So I've done London and New York and Berlin. I've done an Ironman. I've cycled the entire route of the Tour de France in 3 weeks. That was probably the first major thing that I did. I've run a marathon at the North Pole. I actually went to the North Pole twice because we failed to finish the first year, so we went back a second year. I don't like leaving things unfinished. I like to tick them off. I've completed the Marathon des Sables, which is 250 kilometers through the Sahara Desert. And of course 7 marathons in 7 continents in under 7 days with the World Marathon Challenge, which was my latest caper. Absolutely fantastic.
The 42-year-old schoolmaster is somewhat of an everyday hero. He doesn't possess the build of an individual who can run for hour upon end, and even though he no longer consumes alcohol, Ted still pretty much eats what he wants. Happily married and a father of 4, Ted doesn't have the time to go out and train hard before an event, but thanks to his can-do personality, he managed to find a solution to that problem.
The way I've made it easy for myself is generally by going through a complete lack of training before I do these events. I never set myself a big training regime. It's not like when I went and did the Ironman, it wasn't like I was training 50, 60 hours a week or doing anything like that, or even 10 hours a week or 4 hours a week. You know, I really wasn't doing anything. I sign up to do these challenges thinking that I'm gonna then take up some kind of weight loss and training regime, and it just doesn't happen. And I think, oh, I better go and do the event anyway. And I go and do it with bloody mindedness.
But these days, it's not to prove to the world what a determined mindset can accomplish that makes Ted take on these challenges. In 2009, his wife Sophie was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS. All of a sudden, Ted's adventures took on a new meaning, as he was now running to raise money for the Overcoming Multiple Sclerosis charity organisation.
It was a natural progression for me. You know, I've done some big events in the past, and the minute this happened, well, what do? You know, this is what I do. I go off and I trawl the internet for madcap adventures, and I thought I may as well put it to some good. I've normally just done them not really for charitable reasons, and I thought this time, well, this is perfect, you know. And the support has been absolutely incredible from the Marathon des Sables and the World Marathon Challenge. We're up to over £165,000 now, which is way beyond my wildest dreams. I think I set out to raise maybe £5,000 or £6,000 was what I was hoping for in the beginning. It's good, but that's good. There's a long way to go. It's going to be a long, brutal, wet, cold, horrible night.
And even though Ted Jackson believes he would still be doing these challenges even without the charity aspect, he sees what he does as a way of showing his support for such a worthy cause.
There is very little I can do physically, or, you know, I can't exactly come up with a cure for MS, but I think, you know, I wanted to find a way of supporting her, and this has been an excellent outlet for that.
After running 7 marathons in 7 days, Ted could be forgiven for feeling that he'd reached a plateau of some kind. But even though not fully recovered, our adventurer is already packing for his next challenge.
Yeah, I got back from the World Marathon Challenge, and within about 4 days I was back on Facebook, and something flashed up on my news feed that was the Atlantic Row Challenge, and there's a team of people who were looking to put a crew together to take on the Atlantic record for rowing the Atlantic next year. So I found myself writing an email to the organiser, and in my mind I was going, I shouldn't be writing this, I shouldn't be writing this, don't press send, don't press send, and before I knew it I'd sent the email and said that I was available to row the Atlantic next Easter. I'm really looking forward to it, it's extremely exciting. At present we don't know yet, but there's one space left on the team, and my eldest son, who is 20 years old, has applied for that place, and that would just make it really special. But fingers crossed, we're seeing what happens on that at the moment.